Hi, this is Stephanie Brooks, and this is my capstone presentation on Higher Rock Construction. This company is owned by my brother. They are within their first 5 to 6 years of business. They're still relatively new and small, but they are growing. When I approached him about doing an analysis on his company, he was very receptive and allowed me to interview him and any employees that I needed to speak to. I wanted to get as unbiased information as possible for this analysis for him. Some background information on Higher Rock. Chris Bradley is the owner and president and established it in October of 2010. It's located in Rogers, Arkansas, and they primarily work within the Northwest Arkansas region. They have 10 employees, 7 are full-time and 3 part-time. Most of their customers are homeowners and business owners who have experienced damage to their homes and businesses. So they're using working with a lot of insurances because they're filing with claims. So they help their customers get through those processes as seamlessly and easily as possible. They provide services such as custom cabinetry, flooring, painting, everything that a construction company would offer, they provide. Although they're a small company, they do have employee benefits such as free basic medical care, which is also included for the family of the employee. They have a gas allowance, cell phones, and Higher Rock contributes up to 2% in their company IRA. The analysis is based on the McKinsey 7S framework. This includes strategy, structure, systems, shared values, style, staff, and skills. The strategy used for acquiring contracts is to build relationships with everyone that they meet and through building programs. They also plan to expand their territory beyond doing insurance claims. They want to go into custom home building and remodels. They actually have just started their very first 2 home builds. They also plan to expand their territory through word of mouth, their other organizations, website, and advertising. Their structure primarily consists of every single person that works in the company, since they're a small company. So we have the president, owner at the very top. Directly underneath the president, we have the field superintendent, the warehouse manager, and the estimator, who is also the project manager. And he works directly over the office assistant. The lead carpenter is underneath the field and superintendent, as are the cabinet maker and the flooring installer. And of course, general laborers are under the whole tent of field superintendent. Software systems that they use within the company are Dropbox for filing and storing. For accounting, they use FreshBooks. The owner has discussed his desire for eventually a CPA. Funds do not allow for that at this point, but that is a desire he has for the future. So as of right now, the project manager is using FreshBooks for their accounting. They use Xactimate for customer estimates and Neat for scanning and storing their sensitive documents and financial documents. Some of the controls within the company, according to the owner, the warehouse is one of their best controls. It was not a great control before a few months back when he hired a warehouse manager. The warehouse manager came in, did inventory, and discovered that there were many items that were bought several times because the workers couldn't find those items within the warehouse because it was so disorganized, or they just didn't know where to look. So there was a lot of waste in that aspect. And because there was change, the workers had some issues with how the warehouse was changing. But with the manager, he walks them through it, and they have had a lot more success. It's been much more smooth because they know exactly what they have in inventory and what is out and who it's with at that time. So now they have everything accounted for. Also, another control, according to the owner, is they have daily check-in with management over job progress, and the field management floats to job sites. Their shared values, according to the owner, are integrity, honesty, humility, punctuality, and quality. The recommendations I have for Higher Rock, if you remember back, part of their strategy was through a website. At this time, there is still no website. And in this day and age of computers, I strongly recommend that they have a website, and they do that as relatively quickly as possible. People have access to the computer. They want to go look up the company. They want to see what have they done? What are people saying? So developing a website is going to give them some of that information that they're looking for. And some of the information that I believe should be included on their website would be their mission statement, photos of their past work. They need to show their customers that the types of projects that they do and that they're proud of them. Maybe customer reviews would be a good idea even. And their contact information, and not just the telephone, but an email as well, because not everybody wants to speak on the phone. Give them an opportunity to email them as well. See, providing the pictures gives it a personalization. It helps the customer relate and feel like they're dealing with human beings and not just a company. This is about modifying a particular staff. The office the office assistant is in charge of calling people about unpaid invoices and filing the closed jobs. The project manager / estimator is in charge of doing both of those things, what his title is, in addition to billing every single customer. What's happening is sometimes the down payments are not being received. The office assistant has no idea about that. The workers are going out to those job sites where there's been no money put down on the job, so there's no money for that job. So they're wasting time and resources on jobs that have nothing invested into them yet. So what I recommend is that the office assistant absorbs some more duties. Then do the unpaid invoices, filing the closed jobs, add billing and the receiving of payments. This way, this person knows who's paid, what's paid. She knows when to call the people. She's not waiting for someone else to tell her. And the office assistant also can start directing the office productivity. I think that will really help if one main person knows everything that's kind of going on and they're able to direct that information accordingly. And given the title, the new title of office manager, I think that will help with some of the disconnect that's happening. But because of the money issues and workers going to job sites that have not been funded, I am recommending a whiteboard. A huge whiteboard, lined whiteboard on their walls with specific information that everybody can look at. The owner spoke about how they make lots of phone calls throughout the day to discuss who's doing what and what needs to be done. And yes, that's going to change, but on the whiteboard, this is something that everybody can come in first thing in the morning and see. You have the client name, you have the client's address. Is the contract signed? If it has been signed, the date needs to be put up there and it needs to be initialed by the person who put that information on the board. Has the deposit been made? If it has, put that deposit down, put the date down, and initial it so everyone knows who to go to if they have questions about that. Those initials need to be there. You have a place for second payment, final payment, and job notes regarding the job. So we see John Smith's address. He's got his contract signed. He's got his deposit down. Here are our job notes. Peter and Paul, they are assigned to demolition. Everybody sees it. Everybody knows it. There's no questioning. It's on the board. And the same thing with the rest. You can look at the board and know, I'm not supposed to work that yet. There's no money down on it. I think this will be really helpful to have everybody on the same page and not on their phones nearly as often, asking lots of questions that can be easily answered as long as everybody takes the opportunity to go look. One issue I ran into during my interviews was about their values. The project manager said he did not know what the fundamental values of Higher Rock were. And I really think this is vital for the company that the owner shares his fundamental values for Higher Rock and his continued vision. This shared knowledge of the company will provide more consistency with each individual worker, and they will represent the company with more accuracy. And doing that, it benefits the entire company. They, like I said, newer company, small company, but they look how much they're growing. In 2012, their yearly revenue was $98,000. The next year, $579,000, $909,000, $1.3 million. They're getting big. They need to get some things in order. They need to make sure they are all on the same page with their values. There needs to be controls. There need to be a lot more controls. They need to take a page out of the warehouse and start implementing protocols to more of the areas within the organization. Just because they're family style does not mean there doesn't have to be order. And they're lacking some order right now that they really desperately need, that I have seen within my interviews. So my final thoughts on Higher Rock. This is a great company. I think that they have a lot of potential. There are areas where they really just need to add more controls, make them more specific, the protocols within the separate areas of work in the cabinets to the office. And I think once they start implementing these things and get through those areas of change, that they will flourish and have long-term success. Thank you.